This webinar, for all those that are on, is also being recorded, so we'll share a recording of this morning's session or this afternoon session at the conclusion. Okay, I think in the interest of time and keeping to our commitment of 30 minutes, we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Jason Reed. I work with JPIGO on a project called Choice that's funded by USAID. The Choice project, in collaboration with the AIDS-Free program, which is led by JSI, is facilitating a number of online training courses for clinicians that are new to prescribing oral PrEP for HIV prevention. And so throughout the course of the next several weeks, we'll be working together to complete an online training package that was developed by WHO and JPIGO about HIV oral PrEP. I'm gonna step out of the way now and allow Kristen to join us from USAID Lesotho to give opening remarks, and then I'll rejoin you in just a couple of moments. Kristen?
Yep, I'm here. Thank you so much, Jason. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. I'm really excited to hear that this training is taking place, and I'm happy to provide some brief remarks. Sorry, perhaps I should start with an introduction. I'm Kristen Ruxtel. I'm the USAID Director in Lesotho. So the initial idea for this training came to be during a routine discussion with USAID Lesotho and the USAID Washington PrEP team. The DC PrEP team shared that JSI and AIDS-Free and JPIGO teams are providing this virtual webinar-based PrEP training for clinicians in Nigeria. We decided that we really wanted to take a similar approach for Lesotho, and really that this is the best approach in the context of COVID-19. It's important to note that this training is just as critical as if it were being done in person. So we ask that each and every one of you commit to the process and treat it as if it's of the utmost importance, and as you would any in-person training. Further, when we discussed this idea with the MOH, we were delighted that they showed the maximum support for this activity, for this capacity building activity for both old and new PrEP implementers and providers. Participants are drawn from the Ministry of Health, USAID implementing partners, and PEPFAR Lesotho. I wish to congratulate all of you who've been selected by your organizations to participate in this training. This opportunity has come at the right time when Lesotho is really scaling up prevention approaches in order to achieve and then to sustain epidemic control. Thus, the country's plan to scale up PrEP services to all eligible clients is well aligned with the government of Lesotho and PEPFAR's broader programming priorities of reducing new HIV infections. In conclusion, I'd like to acknowledge and say a genuine thanks for this technical assistance from JSI AIDS-Free and from JPIGO. We're super lucky to have such talented expert facilitators, so another huge thanks. Their dedication, passion, commitment, and support are highly appreciated. Additionally, I applaud everyone's continued commitment to the PEPFAR program and to getting to epidemic control in Lesotho. Thank you to all, and please enjoy the sessions. Over.
Great, thanks so much, Kristen, for those motivating remarks. It's a pleasure for all of us to join you as well. We may have other members of Lesotho's USAID team on the line today, and so they're welcome to make remarks as well. They may give concluding remarks toward the end. And I believe we have Ministry of Health colleagues joining us today as well, so welcome, and to all the PEPFAR implementing partners. I'm going to go ahead and get started so that we can finish with you on time. There's a chat box function that's part of this webinar. If you hover your mouse at the bottom of your screen, you'll see in the very center there's an icon for chat. You're more than welcome to click on that and relay any comments or questions you may have in the chat box. You can select who sees the questions or comments that you make, and so you can provide them for the whole group or specific to any particular individual. Next slide, please. So here I just wanted to review the information that you've received to date. Essentially, we've been in touch with you at least 5 times. First, with registration instructions to take the online course. If you're a JPIGO employee, because we have a few JPIGO employees as part of this cohort, the system will automatically recognize your credentials at login when you access the website. But for non-JPIGO participants, which the majority of you are, you would have received an email that included a username and a password, and you'll want to use that username and password to access the course the first time. You're more than welcome to change the password, but you'll want to use the username and password that you received in the email the first time. In addition, you should have received a PowerPoint slide deck that summarizes how to access and complete all of the lessons in the course, including the quizzes and the post-test. It's very important to be familiar with the instructions, because I know after the post-test, you'll want to have your printed certificates of completion. And so in order to get that certificate of completion, it's important that you understand how to complete all of the tasks successfully. In addition, we did a YouTube video recording and sent the link to that YouTube recording. The recording is basically a narrated step-by-step instructions session that complements the PowerPoint slides. And so we encourage you to click on the YouTube video and watch it at the same time that you have the PowerPoint slides available, so that you can see exactly how to step-by-step access the course and complete it throughout the entirety. The fourth thing that you should have received by email were 2 PDF reference sheets. One was titled How to Enroll, and the other is Tips for Completing. This is basically just a pocket guide in case you encounter any problems while completing the course. It's a quick reference just for your easy accessibility. And then the last thing, all of you should have received a text message on your phones joining you to a WhatsApp group. All approximately 65 people that are completing the online training in Lesotho until the end of September are part of that WhatsApp group. And so you're welcome to use that WhatsApp group to pose any questions you may have, to engage in discussions with one another, to contact the administrators or the instructors of the course, etc. If you're missing any of the above, we would ask that you would click on the chat box at the bottom of the screen and give us your name, email address, and phone number in the chat box so that we can remedy the issue and make sure that you have all of the above things listed, all 5 of those things. If you prefer, you can also send us an email at hivoralprep@jpigo.org. Next screen. The main thing that was covered in the PowerPoint slide deck that was sent previously and the YouTube video, it has to do with the options that you have for completing the course. You can take the course from a desktop or laptop computer, or you can take the course from a smartphone or tablet. If you're intending to take the course from a desktop or laptop computer, you'll need to have good internet. The only option to complete the course from a desktop or laptop computer is to do so online. So there is no option for downloading and completing the course offline if you're using your laptop. So you'll need a good internet connection to complete the course that way. If, however, you're intending to take the course from your smartphone or a tablet, you may use it in either condition of good internet or poor internet. If the internet is good, you would want to take the course online from your smartphone. If the internet is poor, you would want to download the course and take it offline. And all of those instructions for those various methods for completing the course are detailed in the PowerPoint slide deck and the YouTube video that you received. Next slide. Though you can take the course from a smartphone, I want to stress that it was really designed to be taken online from a laptop or a desktop computer. And so if it's at all possible for you, we highly recommend that you take the course from a desktop or laptop computer. Next slide. So based upon this information, we had a quick question that we would like all of you on the line to complete quickly. Christina, if you could put the question up. So it looks like there are about 23, 24 people participating in the webinar right now. If you could just quickly answer this question on the screen, based upon the information that you've reviewed in the PowerPoint slides and in the YouTube video, and what I've just reiterated, how do you intend to take the online course? Do you intend to take it online from a laptop or desktop computer? Do you intend to take it online using your smartphone or tablet, or offline using your smartphone or tablet? And we'll proceed once everyone has answered this question. So please do quickly answer and we'll move ahead. And Christina, if you'll let me know when we hit 20, please.
All right, 17 and 25, 18, 19, 20. Great.
Okay, great. So if you haven't yet, please go ahead and answer and we'll proceed. Next slide. So I wanted to lay out the schedule of activities just so that we start on the same page and everybody understands the expectations and what to anticipate week by week. We'll be together for 5 weeks virtually. The first week is the current week. This is Wednesday, August 26th. So we're holding the second orientation session. What we ask is that by this Friday, August 28th, that every single one of you have logged into the system using your username and password, and that you have started lesson 1 by Friday. For week 2, August 31st to September 4th, please use Hello? For the second week, if you can use that week to complete lesson 1 and have started lesson 2 by Friday, September 4th. Then in week 3, we'll have the first of our group webinar and discussion. That will take place on Thursday, September 10th. You can see that in red text here. During that webinar discussion group, we'll review the highlights from lessons 1 and 2. There will be experts on the line to answer questions and to draw your attention to specific learning points that are relevant to. Christina, is it possible to mute the line?
Yep, I'm gonna try to keep doing that. Must be an error.
Okay. And then in week 3, we ask that by the end of that week, Friday, September 11th, that you've completed all of lesson 2 and that you have started lesson 3. The 4th week, September 14th through 18th, we ask that by the 18th, that Friday, that you've completed all of lesson 3 and have started lesson 4. And then in the 5th week, the final week, we'll have our second group webinar and discussion where we'll review highlights from lessons 3 and 4. Again, there will be subject matter experts on the line to answer questions and to draw your attention to Lesotho specific information. By that Friday, September 25th, we ask that you have completed lesson 4, all of the quizzes and the post-test, so that by the following Monday, we can generate all of the certificates for people who have passed the post-test. You need a score of 80% to pass successfully. And if you pass the post-test, and we hope that all of you will, and you've participated in both of the webinars, the group webinars highlighted in red here, then we'll be sending a certificate of completion to you. Next slide. If you encounter glitches or technical challenges, and many of you may, typically this happens when your screen or your system freezes in the middle of taking one of the online lessons. It's typically due to network or internet connectivity. And the solution to a freeze in the system is to refresh your browser. And it may take multiple attempts to restore your session. So please don't become overly frustrated. Just continue to try to refresh the browser. If after multiple attempts, it still won't proceed, then we encourage you to stop taking the course for a bit of time, log out or disconnect from the website and try back at a later time. It's not a glitch in the system. On our end, 99% of the time, the internet is not, the internet signal is not consistent enough to allow you to proceed. As you run into technical issues and glitches, ask that you refer back to the PowerPoint slides and the YouTube orientation video, because these will provide tips to you on how you might be able to get the system to proceed if you're having difficulties. You can also refer to the quick reference sheets that I mentioned earlier, the how to enroll and tips for completing PDF documents. If after all of the above, you're still unable to proceed for any reason, or if you have clinical questions related to the course, we're gonna have office hours, quote unquote, every Wednesday throughout the month of September at 2 p.m. your time. You'll receive an invitation to those, everyone will, but not everyone need to participate. Only if you're having difficulty with proceeding should you log on to those webinars every Wednesday. And at that time, we'll provide technical assistance to ensure that you're able to move forward in the course. In addition, you're also welcome to send a message to the WhatsApp group requesting assistance. We will be monitoring that in as real time as possible. But again, our plan is to try to troubleshoot technical issues that cannot be resolved by any other method every Wednesday. And so if you happen to be in that group where you can't proceed despite all of your attempts, we'll need you to be patient and wait until each Wednesday, and we'll take you on a case-by-case basis to make sure we can provide you with all the information to complete the course. Next slide. So just to flag that there are multiple individuals and organizations that are participating in this cohort in September from Lesotho. We're thrilled about this. We have 14 trainees from the Ministry of Health. We have trainees from USAID Lesotho. I think this is the first time that we're having trainees from both the Ministry of Health and PEPFAR USAID. So we're really happy about that. And then in addition, we have about 6 or 7 PEPFAR funded implementing partners listed below. Each with varying numbers of trainees. For each of the organizations, I've provided a point of contact for you. If for some reason we're having difficulty contacting you or we're monitoring your progress and it appears that you've run into difficulty or have for some reason stopped completing portions of the course, then we'll be reaching out to each of the individuals listed here. For your reference, if you are having difficulty reaching us for any reason, but if you are having difficulty reaching us, you can reach out to this point of contact listed for your organization, and they can make sure to get us a message that we need to get in contact with you. Next slide. There is a community forum on the learning management system. When you access the learning management system to access lessons 1, 2, 3, and 4, you'll also see a link to a community forum that's been set up for Lesotho for the month of September. Here you're welcome to exchange information, pose questions, engage in a virtual discussion with your colleagues in Lesotho. So it's just an open platform for you to utilize however is most useful. I will be posting custom messages to that community forum every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And in those messages, I'll be highlighting key information for that week's learning, as well as help you focus your attention on information that's specific to Lesotho's preference. And you're welcome to use that community forum to post clinical questions, answers, and suggestions for your administrators, instructors, and your peers in the course as well. Next slide. So, Christina, if you'd post the next question. Given that there are about 65 people in Lesotho that will be completing the course all together in the month of September, We would like to know if you feel that it would be beneficial if we would share the names and the affiliations of your peers who are also completing the course so that you know who you can access in the community forum. So if you'll let us know your preference on that, then we'll tally the results from both this webinar held on Monday and potentially share that information with you.
All right, we're at 20 votes.
Great, thank you, everybody. Next slide. Okay, now that we've completed the orientation together, we ask that you log into the course and begin lesson 1 using this web address here. Again, using your username and password that was generated by the system for you. And we'll be checking on Friday to make sure that all 65 people that are registered in the course are making progress in lesson 1. If we see for some reason that you're stalled or appear to be having difficulties, we'll reach out to you and your point of contact to make sure that you have everything that you need to proceed and continue making progress in lesson 1 next week. Next slide. Just a reminder, if you have technical support issues, you can email us at hivoralprep@jpygo.org. You can also drop us a message in the WhatsApp group. If you want to reach us through WhatsApp directly, the number is listed here. And then as a reminder, next Wednesday we'll hold our first office hours session at 2 p.m. your time, where you can bring any questions you may have to our attention at that time. And next slide. Thank you very much again for participating. I'll hand over now to anyone from the group that may have any questions that you want to pose. You're welcome to unmute your line and let us know if there's anything that we can help clarify before we end the session. You're also welcome to continue typing questions into the chat box, and we'll make sure that we answer all of those. And then also, if we have any other colleagues from USAID Lesotho or the Ministry of Health that would like to make remarks, please feel free to do so. I'll hand it over to all of you. Thank you.
It looks like Dr. Tapiwa has his hand raised from the Ministry of Health. Dr. Tapiwa.
Dr. Tapiwa, you want to unmute your line?
All right, thank you very much, colleagues from JPYGO, for this. I think mine is just a request for this PowerPoint, the orientation PowerPoint. So possibly if you could share it with us so that we can sort of follow the instructions by ourselves later on. Secondly, you've given us sort of a schedule of when to finish certain lessons. So at least enroll by Friday, lesson 1, completed by next week, Friday, etc. So my question is, for some of us, we might not be able to follow that exact sort of schedule. You know, it's based on availability of our time, and you might find somebody wants to do this the last week of next month and do it over the weekend and finish it all. So I don't know whether it's flexible to allow us to sort of go through the sessions at our own pace, or we have to stick to this one lesson per week.
Yeah, thank you for that question, Dr. Tapiwa. And actually someone else asked a similar question on Monday's orientation. The system is designed to be flexible, and online training is intended to be as convenient as possible so that it can fit to your busy schedules. The schedule of activities that we outlined is the recommendation that we have in order to complete the classes, or the lessons, excuse me, gradually over time. But many people will complete the entire course in one sitting. So if you happen to have good internet connectivity and a laptop only for a half a day, for instance, I would definitely recommend that you complete as many of the lessons all at once as possible, even if that means taking the entire course all at once. The only thing that I would suggest, there's nothing to prohibit you from completing the course, as you said at the very end, right before the final date. I would ask that if you're intending to complete all or most of the course in one sitting, that you would try to do it earlier as opposed to later, so that when we have the group webinars for the discussions of the key aspects of lesson 1 and 2 or 3 and 4, that you've reviewed at least lesson 1 and 2 before that webinar, and that you've reviewed at least lessons 3 and 4 before the second webinar. If you wait until, there are going to be instances where folks on the line have to wait until the very end, that we completely understand that. But if possible, please try to have reviewed lesson 1 and 2 before the first discussion webinar, and 3 and 4 before the second.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Dr. Tapiwa. It's nice to have you join us for this. I think we were together almost a year ago exactly in Mexico City.
Yeah.
I saw a question in the chat box. Is it possible to access and start the course today? It is. So please, even if you have internet access right now and have another screen open, you're more than welcome to go to www.hivoralprep.org and begin the course. And if you want to take the entire course today, that would be absolutely okay and actually excellent. Anyone else from USAID Lesotho on the line? Sima, I don't know if you have joined us today or not.
Hi, Jason and the team. I think there are no major comments from our side except to encourage the point of contacts to really work hard to ensure that all participants have gone through the system to register for this course, because Friday is around the corner. So we want to ensure that we maximize on this opportunity, because since we had an overwhelming number of people who showed interest, we could not take all of them. So we want to make sure that the list that has been submitted actually takes this course. So let's please work hard to ensure that everybody is actively engaged, so that even when we participate in the next webinar, we'll be sure that we have managed to reach all the content of the course. Thanks.
Great, thank you. Thank you for joining us again, Sima. So it's straight up 2:30 p.m. That's the time that we committed that we would end the session by. So thank you all for participating. We're really enthusiastic about getting started and spending the next 5 weeks together, reviewing all of the great information about oral PrEP for HIV prevention. I really appreciate the support and the remarks by our colleagues from the Ministry of Health and from PEPFAR USAID. And we're looking forward to a great program together. You're welcome to continue posting questions in the chat box if you like. We'll conclude the session now. Again, this session has been recorded, and so we'll get a copy of the session to all of you who participated. But if there's nothing further, good luck with enrolling and getting started. And we'll join you for the first discussion webinar in about 2 weeks' time. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jason and Christine. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.